Hey guys, this is Matt Invictus, and I've got a treat for you guys. I'm going to be reviewing 4 comics in one video. Isn't that exciting? 4 times the ranting in a single video. Okay, let's get right into this. The first book I'm going to be talking about is Detective Comics number 974. Now, the previous issue with this book was the annual, and it was basically just the origin of Clayface. It wasn't terrible. It was a decent issue. There was nothing really wrong with it. But, oh, by the way, spoilers. I'm going to be spoiling, I think, all of the books in this review. So if you don't want me to give away the endings or whatnot, you should stop it right now. Okay, so as I was saying, and in the beginning of this issue, Clayface is dead. And the Batwoman killed him because he was, like, about to lose his mind and turn back into a giant Clayface monster and kill a bunch of people. So she shot him with a magic bullet that killed him even though he was made of clay. And I've said before, Detective Comics is a big disappointment for me. I think it's done far more bad than good, but some of the it's not always bad. It's very inconsistent levels of quality. This issue I thought was meh. It wasn't great, but it wasn't terrible either. And basically the main premise of this book, it's like I don't know, like setting up a conflict between Batwoman, who's the one who killed Clayface, and like the other members of the team, like Batman and Red Robin and such. And to the writer's credit, the conflict itself isn't terrible. It's because I can kind of sympathize with everyone involved because okay, Batwoman, she did kill Clayface, but it was like he was about to like lose his mind again and kill a bunch of people. It didn't seem like there were any other solutions at the moment, so I can kind of sympathize with her. And then the people chewing her out for it, like Batman and his allies. And again, I can understand them too because it's like we never kill anyone. We always find another way. So it's like, oh, okay, yep, you win, James Tynion. You conceived the conflict all right, but I don't think I like where it's headed because if it sounds like it's heading towards like I don't know like a civil war within the Bat family with like Batwoman, who I really don't like at all at the moment, like like fighting like with Batman and Red Robin. And spoiler, it sounds like a bunch of it sounds like an excuse for a bunch of in-family drama, which I'm not looking forward to. I think it's going to lead to a lot of characters I want to like being assholes. I just think it's a bad direction for the book. And also I think that the worst character in this book at the moment is Stephanie Brown, and I hate to say that because I really like pre-Flashpoint Stephanie, but out of all the characters in the book, I think she comes off as the most superfluous and the least likable, at least at the moment. The worst character in tech. It changes constantly, but at the moment, I feel like Stephanie is the one being the most underserved because she's again kind of superfluous. She's not very likably written. She's kind of obnoxious. So they need to get their shit together with Stephanie. And but yeah, I'm not looking forward to the future of this book. But this issue itself could have been worse. Okay, now we're moving on to Marvel 2-in-1 number 3. Now, this is definitely one of the better Marvel books at the moment. Not that that's saying much at all, but I think it's an okay read. For the record, I read the first issue of this. I did not get to read the second one, so I did not read the preceding issue. But I don't think it affected my. I don't think it didn't get affected much. I still followed what was going on just fine. And this is basically this is just a book where it's like, all right, if you want to read about characters you like being written competently, to just a basic fun book that doesn't piss you off in any way, this is worth reading. I like it because one, it's strongly hinting at the return of the Fantastic Four proper, because to be honest, the Fantastic Four is one of the teams I never really liked that much until Marvel destroyed them. Like they shipped Reed and Sue into like an alternate dimension or wherever the fuck they are. So it's like it's one of those things where it's like in the past it's like, oh, the Fantastic Four, they're okay, I guess. But after like Marvel kind of like took them away, I'm like, you know what? Now that I think about it, those guys were pretty cool. I think I miss them. It's kind of the same thing with they did to Wolverine, where he's like one of those characters like, all right, I like him fine, but he's not one of my favorite X-Men. And then they got rid of Wolverine, and then we got the Abomination is all new Wolverine. And I'm just like, now that I think about it, that Logan guy was pretty darn awesome. So it's like, if there's one upside to current Marvel, it's kind of like, forcing me to appreciate everything that came before, even if I didn't at first. So I like the Fantastic Four a lot better now. And this series, yeah, yes, it only focuses on half of the Fantastic Four, but you know what? They're written decently. You got like Johnny, who's kind of traumatized because like half of his friends were like taken from him to like go rebuild the multiverse or something, and then he's like starting to lose his powers, so he's really like he's in a ditch. And then you got Ben, who's like kind of a bit more optimistic. He just comes along, he's like trying to like pull his teammate together. He's like now they're on, I guess, like a mission to like, I don't know, like fix their powers or find the rest of the Fantastic Four or whatever. But it's a decent, fun book. It has like Marvel characters being written decently and in an entertaining way that doesn't feel obnoxious. So I think this one is worth picking up, especially if it leads to the Fantastic Four itself being reinstated, which they should do. And now we're going to talk about Titans number 20. Now, I had dropped this book in the middle of the Donna Troy arc. I found it to be miserable. I was just having a miserable time reading this fucking book. It's like the stuff they were doing, like to all the characters, like Donna and Wally. It was just pure agonizing pain, and I needed to just drop that shit. And one of those people where, like, if it has characters I really, really like, even if I don't like the book, I'll keep buying it just to support them. It took a lot to get me to drop Titans. That's how fucking bad that Donna Troy arc was. But I picked this issue up just to check in on everyone, see where it's going. And this issue was, I feel, inoffensive. It wasn't terrible. It wasn't great, but it was an improvement over the clusterfuck that was the last couple arcs. So the majority of this issue focuses on Roy Harper, who's a character I like a lot, and I think it gets gets his voice right. He's just this dude who's kind of a loser, but he's like trying super hard to like pull his shit together, get himself together, and you respect him for it. So I think they're okay at writing Roy, and it also features a Cheshire, who's like an assassin. He's an old flame of Roy's, and in pre-Flashpoint continuity, Cheshire was like the mother of Roy's child, who was killed pre-Flashpoint, then erased from existence in New 52. So I'm hopefully this will lead to Roy's offspring, Leanne, being restored. It would be nice for him to get his little offspring back. So hopefully that'll happen. Most of the other team members pop in. You get like a couple pages with Dick and Wally. There's okay, and then you see Donna Troy, who's like being quarantined on the Justice League Watchtower because they're afraid she'll turn evil or something, and that was horrible. That was just really depressing to see Donna, who's just in such a horrible position. I hate what they're doing with this character. Again, I like Donna Troy a lot. I want what's best for her, but these guys at DC, they have no idea what the fuck they're doing with her. So that was horrible, but the rest of the issue was inoffensively readable. I wouldn't say I recommend it, but it's better than what we've gotten before. But anyway, I think based on speculation, DC is planning to relaunch the Titans book, and they damn well should. They need to get rid of everyone involved with this run. The writer, the editors. They just need a clean slate. I'm fine. I want them to keep the lineup, or at least the original 5 members of the lineup. The others I could take or leave. I'd like them to keep most of the characters, but in terms of a creative team, they need a clean slate, because this Titans run has been a letdown. And lastly, we're going to talk about Flash number 40. Now I gave the Flash Annual a pretty glowing review a couple weeks ago, I think. And this issue, I liked this issue too, if only for the last 3 pages. I really, really liked 15% of this comic, but those last 3 pages, those 15% of all the pages, they did make it worth it. Now most of this issue focuses on characters I don't really like. It's all about Barry and fake Wally. But oh, Gorilla Grodd's there. I like Gorilla Grodd. He's cool. But the protagonists in this issue I don't really care about. But then at the end, Wally shows up, real Wally, Ginger Wally, and then Barry says to him, I lost my powers, and now it is up to you to become the Flash of Central City. And that made everything worth it. And to be fair to them, the majority there, it's not like kissing Barry's ass or anything, so I wasn't in agonizing pain reading it or anything. It was tolerable, I guess. But then like those last 3 pages, and it's like, okay, this is good. I like this. But I'm obviously not getting my hopes up because obviously Wally isn't going to be the main Flash anytime soon. Barry's going to get his powers back soon, and it could go horribly downhill from there. But this issue on its own was enjoyable, and it was enough to warrant my interest in the Flash stories, the Flash series from here on. So I'm honestly expecting it to kind of end in disappointment with what they're doing with the Flashes, but at the moment, I like it. I was happy reading this issue, so I would recommend this as well. So I think that's it for this week. Thank you for watching, and be sure to subscribe. Good night, everybody.